Hey there, checking in for week 3 recap. I think this week went pretty well. I felt pretty good about it. Um, I on Monday for squats I hit 240 pounds for 5, which is a rep PR for me. And considering the most I've ever done is 260, the fact that I did 240 for 5 had me feeling pretty good. Similarly for bench on Tuesday, I hit 120 for 5, and considering the most I've ever done is about like 125, 126 pounds for 1 rep, I felt really good about that as well. On Thursday, when I did deadlifts, I was really tired, so I did not do any AMRAPs. I just did singles and triples. Because I was feeling pretty good about, like, from 2 weeks ago, I hit a pretty good rep PR for myself, which was 270 for 6. And today I just finished doing the 4th day, which is like pause squats, front squats, and legs up bench. I did that with Amy, and did a decent amount for AMRAPs, like not the most, not the least. So overall, pretty good week. Feeling. Oh, actually, let me address the different points from the email. Figure it's easier for me to talk than it is to type, but I'll bullet point these notes just in case Cody doesn't end up watching this. Let's see. So for squat, basically the notes were to set up a little bit wider, and like incorporating cues is harder than they're so simple, but it's kind of like when you're set in a way, it's tough to like remember to break that every single time. I did make sure I wasn't squatting too narrow, but I think that I don't know if I'm widening up enough for squats, and my butt is still coming up before my chest for a lot of the heavy ones. Like, for example, for today, in the AMRAP for pause squats, like it was pretty bad that my hips were coming up. But once I started with the triples, which is a lower weight, I definitely had less of a problem. So I think it definitely is amplified with heavier weights. The hips coming up before the chest. And for bench, I think I'm getting tighter for that, so that's good. And typically when I bench to the bottom of my boobs, which I feel like is already pretty low to begin with. So I just made an effort to like really hit the bottom of that area. Since the notes were to bench a little bit lower. And for deadlifts, I definitely like put more focus on the eccentric. The eccentrics. I definitely put a focus on putting the bar down a lot more this week. I think I did a lot better this week at it than I did last week. So, not totally sure what that's doing for me, but since those are the notes, I feel like I'm practicing them better. And then I got some footage of accessory work as well. Generally, I'm feeling like last week was a pretty low week for me in terms of just like struggling and stuff like that. This week is better. I mean, it's not the best, but definitely a lot better. And yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. Oh, I went to a house party last night, and the birthday girl introduced me. She was like, "Hey, the two of you should meet," and she introduced me to a sports nutritionist who does work at a local, like a big university around here, and she's a competitive Olympic lifter, and it's just I'm always really excited to meet women who like, especially like specifically women. I'm excited to meet anybody who's like interested in strength training, because in most of my life like people aren't really, but especially when they're women too. And she seemed pretty cool. I don't know if this is actually going to turn into anything. Maybe that'll be like the one time in life we meet. But it would be awesome to gym buddy it up with her. So having some hopes for that. Let's see. Been having good times otherwise, outside of work. I tried to paint a little bit because I was feeling a little stressed out. And following up from last week, I am now on antidepressants. I'm only like day 3 in of them, and they don't usually take effect until at least 2 weeks. So I'm interested in seeing how those will change how I'm feeling, both emotionally and physically. So hopefully it doesn't impact my training. If anything, hopefully I'll be in better moods and go ham for training. All right, so that is week 3. Checking out. Till next time. I ended that a little too soon. I forgot to mention that when I was doing push press with the barbell, I got a. This is something I experience occasionally, but I get this really intense pain, like right at the inner forearm, like on the side right here. And it's a sharp pain, and it feels like something's moving. And I talked to the manager of my gym. He just like casually asking a question, and he has a lot of background in like sports science, I guess. And he said that it sounded like my tendon was moving over the bone, which is exactly what it felt like. It felt like there was like some sharp string that was experiencing pain as I was moving up and down. And so he recommended I just finish with dumbbells in a neutral position like this way, which is what I did for my last set. So the first 2 for push press were with the barbell, and the last one was with the dumbbell. But I just wanted to mention that. For the most part, I don't experience anything odd with it when I'm benching or doing any of the other exercises. So it's just with barbells for overhead press and like strict press and push press. And then for the most part, I can do it. I think usually just when it gets heavier, like heavy like a lot of reps, I'll start. I might feel pain, but sometimes I don't either. So if the pain comes up, I'll just use dumbbells. So just adding that note in.